Today on Security Briefs, we continue our Secure Connections series. Again, be sure to share this with supporters and missionaries alike. We've talked about communication in normal times and communication during crisis, but underneath all communication in missions is something deeper: prayer. Supporters often say, "Tell us how to pray specifically." Missionaries often wonder, how specific is too specific? So today, we're going to talk about how to cultivate deep, meaningful prayer engagement without compromising people or ministry, because effective prayer does not always require detailed information. First, to our missionary friends, it's easy to assume that supporters need vivid stories and detailed scenarios to pray effectively. They do not. Scripture itself gives us broad categories that are powerful. We're told to pray for boldness, for open doors, for protection, for endurance, for wisdom, and for unity. None of those require names or locations. You can also frame prayer around spiritual realities instead of operational details. Instead of sharing who you're meeting with, ask for discernment in key conversations. Instead of describing government pressure in detail, ask for favor and peaceful conditions. Instead of naming a new believer, ask for growth in faith for those taking first steps. The goal is not to obscure reality, it's to elevate prayer to its proper focus, spiritual fruit rather than tactical detail. And in many contexts, that kind of prayer is both safer and more powerful. Now, to our supporters and churches, when updates are general, don't assume that prayer must be general. Broad requests can drive very focused prayer. When you hear wisdom, pray James 1:5. When you hear open doors, pray Colossians 4:3. When you hear boldness, pray Acts 4:29. You don't need operational specifics to intercede effectively. In fact, sometimes detailed knowledge can unintentionally shift prayer toward curiosity instead of dependence. Your role is not to know everything. Too often we're guilty of asking, "Can you tell me the specific details of what happened? I just want to understand so I can pray." But soon it becomes clear the focus is shifted from prayer to private details. Our role is to faithfully bring what we know before the Lord, and consistency in prayer often matters more than specificity. So what's the shared principle? Well, in the New Testament, Paul frequently asked for prayer. He did not always explain every detail of his circumstances. He asked for strength, he asked for boldness, he asked for open doors for the Word. Prayer partnership has always functioned this way. Secure connection does not weaken prayer, it refines it. When missionaries focus requests on spiritual priorities and supporters pray with discipline and Scripture, partnership becomes spiritually resilient, and resilience sustains longevity. So, here are today's practical takeaways. Missionaries, in your next update, frame at least one prayer request around a biblical theme rather than a detailed situation. And supporters, choose one scripture this week and pray it consistently over your missionary. Depth does not require exposure, and meaningful prayer does not depend on detailed intelligence. Secure connection strengthens spiritual partnership. Now you know. We'll see you next time as we continue to talk about secure connections.